Previously on Cartoonist by Night.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to get going, guys. Yep, I gotta get going. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Now, if Art Baltazar is watching this, I got to say that some of the stuff is pretty infectious. Where I didn't mean to say that, but I basically said, "I'm like, good to see you, sir." Like that's an Art Baltazar ism, and that's just kind of happens now. So it's just
That's okay.
it's just part of the world. Because there was a part of me thinking, like, are we just pretending to do the Oh Yeah podcast when we record, and we're just making our oh yeah and hey man and hey do ghost stories, like it's just like we're trying to make our own oh yeah podcast maybe, but that stuff is just so natural now just because of how awesome those guys are.
It's true. It's very infectious, and it's easy to just kind of like absorb their vernacular and use it.
Exactly.
Getting this logo lined up.
I went back to work on my chains, and I'm now doing it where I get the actual arms of Wendell the ghost to make sure that it's covering where he's holding onto the chains. So I recolored the chains, and I'm much happier. I did a yellow and then like a kind of a brownish gold one, but now I put a gray in there instead of the bright yellow one. So I'll show it soon. I'm just almost, you know what, I can show it now just because I do have a little editing.
Okay. Show it.
Show it. Do it.
Do
There's
it.
okay, hold on. I just had a phrase. Do it. That's not the Shia LaBeouf thing, but there's Thanos in Endgame, where like he calls for like his army to like, and I think he just when they're wondering if they should fire, and he's just like, do it. It's just like we're gonna get our butts kicked here by like 10 people, and we've got a million people on our side, and just do it.
Just do it.
My favorite, like I've got 300 favorites of the MCU, but one of my favorite like line deliveries back and forth is when um unable to connect. Oh, here it goes. I thought maybe because my
There.
battery was getting low, but nope, here we go. So what I'm doing before I finish that Thanos story, um so yeah, this one looks good here because then I got the sheet arm covering up the where he's holding onto the chain. And then this one, I'm just trying to visualize it. I think I'm doing it right. I think I have to. I think that looks right. Does this look right?
The top part looks right. The bottom part,
This,
the
yeah,
is
That's what I'm working on. That's when I
okay.
decided. I'm like, well, I'll start sharing that just so people can see that. So Thanos, when he squares off against Wanda, and she just goes, "You've taken everything from me," and real quick, and just not like to be a jerk, but he just goes, "I don't even know who you are." It's
Yeah.
like she had you've taken everything from me, and it was such a powerful delivery because it is so true what he did to her and Vision and all that kind of stuff, and that version of Thanos was very honest and just like, I don't even know who you are. Like,
It's like there's an episode of Mad Men where one of the guys is talking to Don Draper like in an elevator, and he's like, I think he's angry about something, like, I can't believe you did this to me, and Don Draper just looks at him and is like, I don't think about you at all.
Ouch.
Like, oof, that's mean.
Yeah, that's just a little extra twist in the wound there.
That's the best. The best part of waking up.
Whoa,
Whoa.
didn't expect that.
Hey, man.
Hey, man, Folgers, man.
They're gonna sue us.
Folgers or the Oh Yeah podcast?
The Oh Yeah podcast.
Okay, they're
Yeah.
never gonna watch this.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, they just sued us again.
Oh crap.
Ah. Okay, so now I'm looking at this here. I think I got it.
Yeah. That looks great.
I'm wondering if I have to get rid of that, but I don't think so.
I hope that you do not as well.
think- I
No.
think the perspective is correct. And if it's not, who cares? This is all fiction.
Yeah.
This is how ghosts hang on to chains in my universe of fan art for Brenna Thumler.
What have I done here? Oh, there we go. Okay. Top banner. Get rid of that. What happens now? Hey, we're in business. Okay.
Hey, we're the monkeys.
People say we monkey around. As you can tell, I'm getting the cover file ready for issue number 2.
Ooh.
It's super fancy. Okay, save. So I need to figure out Prince. Not like the
Prince?
singer, but like
Artist
getting-
formerly known as Prince.
the artist, formerly known as Prince.
Just do it. That's the line. He does say just do it.
Just do it.
I was thinking if he just said do it, but it's just do it. Like, come on.
Ugh. You jerk. Oh man.
It's
What
Thanos,
else?
man.
What else do I have in here? Oh yeah, remember I told you that I had a comic strip that I did like a ton of panels for a ton of.
Yes, I would love to see that someday. Go ahead.
This is them on here. I have all those are regular strips. I
Oh,
have a few single panels that I did. I have one Sunday strip that I was working on. That's in the thumbnail phase.
cool.
Really bad looking, but let me see here. Male escort strips. We'll go down to the newer ones. Let's see here. This one is how was work today, dear? Well, the DPS and FSS sorting machines went down, then a CCA went AWOL, such BS. The 3M was awful, and the 204B is on FMLA, and the UBBM was outrageous. Boom! Sorry, I forgot to speak civilian.
See, now that's good because that probably made sense to you, but for the
Right.
civilian thing, it made sense to me because of that last panel.
Right, that's just
No,
it.
that's great. I admire like how much of that you have done and the fact that it's like not released, and I sincerely hope that you do release it sometime.
You ever want to see what a Matt Rogers drawn horse looks like?
Oh yeah.
They're really bad.
I
Yeah, this
like
one
it.
is.
I like it.
hear
I like it. I like it. I like it.
is in trouble. Yeah. See,
Well,
that's me.
that is you. You also look like a Jungle Cruise director.
Yeah, it's that dumb hat. Those dumb hats. I have a bunch of those. And I was like, man, this is such a good idea. I'm going to start submitting this stuff. And then I was like, wait a minute, nobody's going to get this but me. And then I had other book, or the not book, but this other thing that I was working on. I got 26 pages of it done. It's called Cat, and it's an adventure story about a cat.
Jeez.
It was all hand drawn and colored by that. Well, the coloring was digital, but it went some weird places, man.
You just have all the stuff done, like all these things that I personally want to do and achieve and work on, and I've got some things rumbling in the head, and you just have all the stuff done already. Come on.
It's nuts.
Hey man.
Yeah, man. There was one page that turned out really cool. Let me see if I can find it. Doodly 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 doo.
I'm gonna find my syrup brush. And no, it's not a brush that just paints bottles of syrup finished.
It
Unlike
should
your
be.
money brush over there.
We
Mr.
can't
Money
all
Brush.
have a money brush.
Mr. Money Brush.
I've heard good things about the syrup brush. Here we go. This page turned out cool. This is when I was like, I should do this as an actual comic book.
Jeez.
Got it. Check that out. Whoa.
I
Yeah,
dig it.
it was gonna be really awesome, and then I just started with the happy stuff. I mean, here's the introduction of the main characters. We've been at sea for months. We're a small crew, and we're all so tired. Mittens, my first mate. I don't know how to pronounce that word. I think it's Botswan. Old Shadow. Worry not, lads. We'll be home soon. It's just going to be this adventure story about a pirate cat.
Well,
Named Cat.
I think you might have a potential audience. Katie from my Crimson Call Comic Club. She's a big pirate fan. So if you're
See,
looking
I
for
even had
audience,
started on the website layout because it was going to be a web comic.
yeah, making uh, comic strips and stuff like that. You know, you talked about it. I think in the first episode, just talking about how you're more of a comic strip kind of guy when it comes to your origins and stuff like that. And I love the idea of creating comic strips and just doing fun little jokes, and just there are small commitments as far as doing individual strips, and I think they're very satisfying of um since they are something that's not going to take you 11 days to draw and 19 pages, like
Absolutely. And then I have my brain dead gents that I started doing. This is where I started to get into the screen toned colors where they're all like it's all dots.
oh sure, yeah, I've seen some of this stuff before
Yeah,
somehow.
it
maybe
was
through
pretty
your
awesome.
maybe through your Instagram or something.
Yeah, probably. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages of that done.
A
That's
month
great.
ago, you probably got some notifications that I was like liking photos from like 10 years ago, because I just
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't. We never talked about it. It's the first time we've acknowledged it, but it was just one of those things. Being like, all right, I'm about to host a drawing show with this guy. Let me just try to let me catch up on his life over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I can't remember the artist's name, but I colored this piece for fun.
Whoa, that's awesome.
I follow him on Instagram, but I can't remember his name. I sent it to him and he was like, looks cool. I was like, thanks. And then I was like, I really want to do a Powerpuff Girls comic. So I started doing a Powerpuff Girls portfolio piece. I was pretty happy with how the skyline turned out.
Was that Franco down there?
No, that's
Okay.
Professor Utonian.
I just I caught it real quick, and I'm like, I thought it was Franco at first.
No, I do have a picture of Franco. Let's see here.
I hope it's the one that I've seen before,
It probably is.
because I laugh every time.
That one right there.
Yes, I love that vest.
There he is right here, peeking around.
Hey, you should have used the money brush on that dollar bill there.
Well, see, the updated version has Abraham linkage on it because it's a $5 bill.
Oh yeah, Hey, I got some updates from our Cartoonist by Night people. Matt Fife just explained about having to take off, which is fine. I mean, he gave us like right now we've been recording for 3 hours and 30 minutes,
Hmm.
and I think most of that's going to be used because I started when we jumped on, so then maybe there's like only 5 minutes of that that's not going to be used. Um, but he goes, "Good episode!" Exclamation point. I think question mark. Matt, I'll reply to you later, but I'll reply to you now on air. I think it is a great episode. I think it's fun. And then Troy just got home and he's swamped. He just came back from Tidewater Comic Con. He thought about the possibility of jumping in. Um, but I knew with the extra travel and just the busyness of a con and making millions of dollars and such that I wouldn't expect him to show up. But
It's true. Plus he has to get prepared for the crud.
yes, the con crud.
Here's a piece that I colored of Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. Well, I'm in the
Whoa.
process of coloring that.
Holy cripes.
I don't know whose signature this is, but I have another one that I started to color. Let's see.
Now, if you showed me that and I didn't know about that, just be like, oh, what, I wouldn't have known that. What I'm trying to say is that's awesome.
I colored this Deadpool piece
Nice.
for fun.
Taskmaster.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So for a long time I just wanted to be a colorist. So I was just like, I'm gonna just do colors.
You've
I
done
want
some
to
of the Archie stuff, which I think you showed in our upcoming Archie episode.
Yeah, I colored this Jim Lee piece by Booster Gold and Blue Beetle.
Nice.
Turned out pretty okay.
I love the purple behind there.
I also colored a panel that Patrick Zerker posted of Doctor Strange.
Patrick?
Yeah, Patrick. Where is it? Where are you at, Zerk? You in the Z's? Is that where it is? It's not in the Z's. Is it an S for strange? It's not in the S's for strange. Where is it? Oh no. I'm working on this Green Lantern piece.
Jeez, all right, so you got about 300 projects you're doing. And you play video games.
Yeah, I'm pretty lazy really. Oh, and I'm working on inking. This is me figuring out how to ink digitally on a David Finch Batman piece. That's what it looks like normal, and that's how much I've gotten done.
I'm impressed by it just because I wouldn't even know where to start on something like that. So
It's very inking is a lot harder. That's how I learned how to ink digitally for the most part. Taught myself everything there. I got this Batman page that I started doing color work on. I think this might be Capullo, but I don't know. What else we got? Where's my Doctor Strange? It's probably just sitting. There it is right there. Doing some Doctor Strange work.
you got some Kirby crackle going on.
Yeah. See, the thing I like about Zerker is he uses screen tone. He also uses Clip Studio Paint. And let me pull this one up. Oh, I don't have it where I can take the colors away, but you can see instead of using dot tones, he uses lines.
Hmm.
So he just uses those very sparingly in his shaded areas, and it just works out really well. He does awesome work. He's one of those guys that like his style is just comic book. You know what I mean? Like you don't look at a thing where it's like you can tell Darwin Cook drew a Darwin Cook drawing. You can tell a Francesco drawing. Zerker just when I think of a comic book in my head, that is his art. And then I created this little frog warrior character named Goff of Creekmont.
What? Man,
was all
That's-
excited about it. I was like, man, a knight that's a frog, that would be so cool. And then this artist that I follow on Instagram started doing it's called Frog Knight. And I was like, okay,
Oh.
that's going away then. And then I started working on this Avengers piece. I don't like how it turned out because it looks like crap, I think. I think a lot of these are commissions that I find, and those are kind of meant to be black and white. So coloring them is a lot harder.
Okay.
Um, let's see here. What other cool stuff can I show off?
I'm so glad we kept recording because I wouldn't have. I mean, maybe hopefully I would have seen these eventually, but
Somewhere down the road, here's where I colored a Francesco piece of where he did the 3 green characters of DC. Coloring his work was fun. He does awesome stuff.
yeah, you
What
do.
else do I got? What else do I got in here? There's my Dr. Manhattan fan art.
I think I've seen a variation of that, or stuff that looks familiar, but
That was a good one. I colored a Scott Pilgrim page for fun. Telling you, man, they need to hire me to color this stuff.
yeah, man.
The guy that colored it did a great job, but uh,
I've been
this
so
one to Fife. I was working on a Ninja Turtle color.
Jeez. Whoa.
It's not done because I don't know anything about this new yellow bandana turtle. So
Jenica.
yeah, it's news to me.
She's awesome.
And then that's how I warm up. I'm just like, oh, I think I'll just color something. Like I've been working on this Hulk piece for a really long time, off and on.
Oh, that's cool.
Got some Spidey. The
Oh.
thing that's fun about it is trying to figure out, like down here on the ground, like the smoke that they didn't really fill everything in. So you have to like kind of eyeball it and try to figure out what they were thinking.
And eventually just make up your own thing, maybe.
Right, like this is how I'm gonna interpret this.
This is no longer smoke. This is cotton candy. I am
We-
almost done.
unused.
I'm almost done with my stuff. I'm adding my details on Wendell, and I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think I'm gonna go back and redo this like I anticipated, like I have been doing in these Cartoonist by Night episodes. I don't think I'm going back to redo anything because I'm just excited in the moment. I'm happy with just drawing something, not needing to be like, all right, this has to be perfect so I could make a print of it or something. Like I'm feeling this one here. I'm feeling it.
It's awesome. Yeah, we have remember I told you that we have like 3 or 4 happy astronaut stories that are never. This was a page from one of those where he goes to a like he in the happy astronaut universe, there is a superhero character, and this is him. His name is Big Ol' Hero. That's why he has the H on his chest. And this whole story was him landing on their planet and dealing with like the fallout from that. And that story was almost completely finished. It's just
Big old
all the practice crap you have to do to learn everything about your characters, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's all good stuff.
So we have,
I just saw a lot of awesome stuff right there.
telling you, you're getting the special treatment.
And what's sad is that who knows if Troy or Matt maybe will watch after he sees himself leave, but hopefully Troy, because this is going to be a very long episode. I'm already debating if I actually just break it up into 2 parts, but because you know what, like even when like Fife jumped off, this could be not, I guess it could be a dynamic duo as well, but anyways, I think I am done. I think I'm just gonna just say, hey, this is some fan art I did. I don't care about anything else. Maybe I would do this better if I was just sitting here by myself, listening to other creators talk, where I don't have to actually interact and pay attention or anything. So I'm just going to just say I'm confident enough to say I think I'm done. I'm going to show how I sign my name though. So I'm going to
Oh,
say that until I it's not as cool as your signature because we looked. I think we saw that in some episode. We talked about it. But here we go, coming up on the screen. My almost finished, minus my signature, coming up here.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I love
What I did with the chains, I took the bright yellow out and I just recolored them with gray, and then I actually did go through and interlock them. I just kind of lost. It was when I was talking about uh I was in the middle of ranting about Dan Slott, I think. So ranting in a good way. Um, so I don't know if any of that stuff, if the physics are correct, but I don't care.
Yeah.
And then I just went wild with trying to make the creases and the the highlights and stuff for Wendell in the in the bed sheet. I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty much I didn't do anything different with Marjorie back there. I just kept her as is, so I'm pretty satisfied. I blurred the background for the top half for some of the goofy trees I drew, and now this is, and it got so messed up when I was going in deep on the chains and covering up where the sheet would overlap it. So some of my layers got real messy. So then I just started just drawing on whatever layer I was on. But I was at the point in the drawing where I'm like, oh, I'm not going back to redo things. So I can just kind of go willy nilly now. So here we go. I love using the studio pen under the inking brush library. I'm going to see what kind of size. Oh, I got to get there we go. All right, just kind of seeing, and then here's my decision where I'm like, where do I put my signature? I'm kind of looking around. I think I pinpointed a spot, and I'm just gonna go. I just kind of overlook the entire drawing, and I just put my eye around it and just kind of see where does it belong. And I think it's gonna go right here, a little thick. There's my signature. I'll put it 23. I've been doing that recently. Oh boy, not that. Oh boy.
Oh,
Oh boy. Let me just go smaller. Man, I'm gonna spend a whole episode just trying to draw a 2 and a 3. There we go. I am going to call this finished. This is the Brenna Thumbler's challenge. There's a hashtag to it, I'm sure. I'll call up the hashtag while we're talking here. And oh boy.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey man.
Hey man.
Here we go. The fan art challenge. Check caption for details. Calling all sheets fan, which is I. We're hosting a special fan art challenge in honor of the release of Lights out this September. And to celebrate the entire Sheets series from today until June 16th, we're challenging all fans to draw their favorite Sheet series character or characters in their own style. Looking at this, I don't know if I have a style yet, but this is just how I drew it. So I didn't want to concentrate too hard on photo reference from her books. I just had it for some color choices and stuff like that. So I think I just went with it. The artwork can be of them doing anything, having a picnic, riding unicorns, experiencing life in the prehistoric era, whatever. But we must keep it PG, okay? I don't even remember reading that. So good thing I kept it PG here. To be featured on either her or Oni Press's social media, you have to tag me at Brenna Thumbler and at Oni Press. Plus, use these hashtags hashtag Sheets Series and hashtag Sheets Series Fan Art. Have fun. Can't wait to see your imaginations run wild. So here we go. Brenna Thumler. I am going to do all that stuff after. Whoops. There's something on my screen there. So you just saw me wipe something off my iPad. Yeah, I think I spit on it. And then I just I drew a line in the sand.
It just it looks like there's just a hair on the image.
Yeah.
Get that hair off of there.
Hold on, let me find the fine is it under sketch, fine pencil or technical pen? No, maybe it's under inking. There it is, fine tip, that's what I was looking for. So let me see how this looks here. There we go. So all of a sudden hey, there's a hair on the screen. Hey, come on, what's happening here?
Hey man.
Here, man. Oh wait,
Ah, all the hair.
I'm done drawing lines in the sand. My iPad's probably, yep, it's at 14%. I'm gonna end this session. I'm gonna cut that out, maybe. I don't know if any of that stuff should be on there, but once again,
Never know.
that's the part that I love about the not live video. So that way, especially with I showed my Procreate project gallery, which included a spoiler alert for something Rogers related for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode that I'm editing now, which you will see in the feed already if you are watching this episode. That episode's been released already, but I'm so glad Rogers didn't see that because it's one of those things that he's going to have to experience for himself. Fife saw it and he said he's going to keep the secret, but
Oh, he will.
I took liberties with adding in fun little pictures at the end, after we had recorded just to kind of coincide with our conversation. There was one thing that you said that I'm just like, yep, I'm going to have to create this image because this image does not exist.
And this
And
is
we were-
the second time that I have not seen it.
Yeah. Whoa. Oh, I was wondering why my Madman and Bones plushies were on the floor, but I remember I grabbed for my Silver Surfer stuff. But I have Jeff Smith Bone and Mike Allred's Madman hanging out
Oh,
with
so
me about
cool.
that.
This is me practicing inking on this super awesome Batman piece.
Nice.
Yeah, man, it's like digital inking. Whee, whee.
Patooey.
Man, are you gonna get that new Bone book?
You betcha.
That guy, you would think that I would have met him by now. He lives an hour away from me.
Yeah, I just got to meet him at C2E2 for the first time. So incredibly awesome. He is
He's
so
so
cool.
cool. Do you have his documentary?
I do, yes, because I had gotten that. So here's another hour for the podcast. Bone was always on my long list, and I heard nothing but great things. I heard epic being thrown around a lot. And that was a pretty big word to throw around on something, and it's being hyped up so much. And it's such I've seen the size of those compendiums, those collections, and I'm just like, it's a lot. But then finally, I think it was like the 37th printing was in previews last fall, and I don't think I'm exaggerating. It might be 29, maybe 39. There's some number in between there that they're on that number printing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm finally gonna get it. It was super cheap, pre-order discount, big huge book. I'm like, I'm finally gonna do it. And then I was talking with Fife about it, who I think he had read some of it, or maybe was wanting to reread it or something. I forget exactly, but we're just like, hey, let's do it together. So for 2 months time, if we read one chapter a day, we would finish it. And so then I did it, and then coincidentally, Jeff Smith was added to C2E2, and got to meet him and got to talk about all that. And after reading it, it lived up to all those huge expectations. it definitely deserves the epic review descriptor of just saying, yep, this is an epic adventure, and it's true.
Yeah,
But
I have the. Oh, come here. Oh,
and that Bone document, that Jeff Smith documentary, I had watched that based off of comic book couples counseling podcast, Brad and Lisa, who both you and I are huge fans of, and they're always talking about Jeff Smith. Oh, that's beautiful.
yeah, I have the colorized Scholastic trades. There are 9,
Ooh,
and then I have the first Tall Tales, which I finally tracked down, which is he did some of it. This is like a short story compilation.
yeah, I don't think I know about that.
It has 1, 2, 3. It has 4 Tall Tales with a little intro, but Jeff Smith drew all of them, but he only wrote 2 of them.
Okay.
They had another guy write them, and then he drew the whole thing. But it's all nice and colorized, just like the Scholastic stuff. And the book that's, I think, Tall Tales 2 is the one that's coming out in August.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because then he also has the I can't remember the full title. I know it has Spark in the title, Book of the Spark or Tale of the Spark, something like that. It's 3 books, but they're novels.
Is it the oh, okay? Because he's got the Tukey series, which I just bought volume 1 from him at his signing. I haven't read it yet, but
Yeah, I remember him. I think he kickstarted those very, very successfully.
I could only imagine because yeah, I mean, he talks about that Scholastic deal and stuff. How it just it's so crazy how many times that book has been and gone back to print and
And how long it took him to get them all done. That's the crazy part too. And like he was with Image for a little bit with it instead of like self-publishing.
and it feels like it feels like I missed out on an experience in the sense that for as long as it took, to just do all of those epic stories and do all that work, and I consumed it in 2 months. Like I could have consumed it quicker, but I paced it out, just being like, oh, it'd be fun to do chapter a day. That'll take 2 months. But the fact that like it's done and now that experience is over, like it I can't imagine just being like in the thick of it of like being there when it was coming out and following it for some, for as long as, the original fans have done it. But yeah.
I tweeted at him and got a retweet once because he had that deal with Netflix,
Yeah.
do an animated movie, and they canceled it. So I took a picture from the book where it's the famous stupid rat creatures panel. And I replaced stupid rat creatures with stupid Netflix.
That sounds familiar. Hey man. I didn't look at it yet, and I don't think but Troy sent us a video in our thread, and it's of art, and I haven't watched it, but I'm guessing he's maybe doing maybe a Cartoonist by Night bumper shout out.
Oh, I hope so.
It's yeah, so I'm not gonna play it here, and if we're gonna use it, maybe that'll be one of the things we cut to however many hours ago when we said we were gonna cut the things.
Hey, there we go.
But
Time
this
trap.
oh man. I'm excited to watch this, but
Oh yeah, man. Famous cartoonist Art Baltazar. As you see, Abraham Lincoln is with me, and we are watching, and you are watching. Famous cartoonists draw at night. They draw at night by night. We're all here together, man. Buy their comics, buy my comics, shop.
damn, that's cool. Oh yeah, man. Or it's not that at all, and I just hyped it up, and it's just saying, "Hey, where's my stuff, Latch? Where's my stuff, Rogers?"
Or stop ripping us off. Come up with your own ideas.
We're gonna send the spring break lawyer on your butts.
I accidentally insulted Skoke and I didn't mean to.
Uh-oh.
I was talking to him on the word balloon, or no, they
Yeah.
were doing and I mentioned that I watched 525/77.
Yeah.
I was able to point him out and that my wife wasn't impressed. And he
Yeah,
was like, well, I'm sorry, she wasn't impressed with me. I'm like, no.
I saw that too, and I understand your tone of it. I'm sure it's all fine, but yeah, I remember reading that too because there's certain things that I'll put out in the chat and stuff that is maybe not read. Like if Johnny reads it or something, just being like, well, I wasn't serious in it. I didn't put the slash sarcastic, tag at the end of it just to let you know that I'm not serious about what I just said. But sometimes it's hard to convey some of that stuff, and you're just so quick to want to get the comments so it stays relevant in their current conversation. But
Right. And then you like try to clarify, but by the time they read it, it's like 10 minutes later, and then
yeah,
your clarification doesn't make any sense.
yeah, art. One of my favorite things is like, so when he's doing his famous cartoonist draws things, and he's drawing for let's say 20 minutes, and he's like, all right, let's go see what the people are saying. And let's say D Brad said something, 15 minutes prior to whatever topic he was saying, and Art will just go, I don't know what that is, but I like it. Like, and he'll just go, sure, and just like, yes, and he'll just reply to it, and just it was 15 minutes ago. There's a dozen different topics that happened between there, and it's just like, I don't know what that means, but I like it.
But I like it. I like it a lot.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Oh boy. Yeah, this is gonna be a supersized episode. I think I might cut it into two just for the sake of uploading and stuff like that. It's gonna be a monster. I am so glad that the first thing I did this morning when I woke up was dig out my terabyte hard drives that I dusted off from 10 years ago, and I started offloading a bunch of files and stuff, and I freed up like probably 50, 60 gigs of space. And I'm so glad I did that prior to this episode because I don't think this episode would exist right now.
Right.
I think we would have gotten a warning and I'd have to quick stop the recording, and to play it safe, I should stop it now anyways, but
you talk too much, fellas.
yeah. What's going on? But I'm glad that everyone had some time to talk, like you guys going back and forth with the DC stuff, and I I'm very alert if I go on about certain things here and there, but that's only because I've been doing a lot of podcasts for quite a long time, so I'm always kind of at the ready to do it. But also with the drawing, I'm just not. It helps out that I can just kind of lean back on the talking, and then not have to. But I like I said, I'm very, very satisfied. I do not think I already saved it as a JPEG. I don't think I'm going to do anything to this fan art. I think that's a big step in this Cartoonist by Night journey where I've drawn something that I will not go back tomorrow and redraw it from the beginning pencils.
Yeah. That's like me and Fife have this thing where we learned it from Stephen King. I don't know if you've ever read On Writing.
I've heard of Stephen King. Oh, no, I haven't read that thing. No.
Like On Writing is half biography, half textbook. And the first half of the book, he basically starts from when he was a kid and he just tells his story of how he ended up where he is now. And then the second half, he basically teaches you, this is how I write.
Okay.
And one of the things that he has as a big point in that is, one, don't be afraid to kill your darlings.
Mm-hmm.
So you always have to be prepared to cut anything. It doesn't matter how much you love it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Get it out of there. And the other thing is put it away for a while and come back later. Get fresh eyes on it.
I like that. Oh,
So
I
it's like, if you've been looking at something forever and you think that it looks good, or if you think that it looks really bad, then if you give it a minute to breathe and go back to it, then you'll see stuff that you didn't see before. And when you're working on a deadline like me and Fife are, that's a little bit harder to do.
Mhm.
Because it's just like, this has to get there so that it ships on time, which is new to us
Yeah.
and nerve wracking in its own right. But yeah, so we've definitely, like, because he gets to have a little bit of a lead time over me, since he can write while I'm drawing the previous thing, so he can get stuff knocked out and he has time to sit. Then I can go back and look at it, because I mean, I've had changes, like I think we've talked about it before, where in this story I basically like brought to his attention that I think something didn't work, and he ended up having to cut like 3 pages and rewrite from that point forward. But it's like, I didn't notice it until I was drawing it. Once I had to go and draw it, I was just like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
this is real weird.
Yeah. I used to make short films in a past life, and I did it for a long time, and I only wrote and directed my own stuff, and I loved just being the one man show, and I did all the editing. I just did all that, and that's just how I worked. And a good friend of mine, Austin, who is a aspiring uh, screenwriter, had an idea for a fun little short film and sent it to me to read, and I'm just like, oh, this is cool, super fun. And I'm thinking, maybe I'll play this character or something. And I was excited to act in somebody else's thing, and not be on the creative side. But it was him asking me to. He goes, I want you to direct it. I'm like, oh, I'm like, well, that's something I'm not really, used to, like, because normally I'll write everything, and I'm like, all right, let me reread it, like I read it in his the original time I wrote it. Hold on, I gotta start that sentence all over. When I read it the first time, I'm just being like, the whole time I'm like, oh, that's very entertaining, very good, I like it, I like it, I like it. But I knew that I didn't have to do anything other than just act in it, probably.
Right. This
But when
changes everything.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, these aren't my problems. I don't have to figure out where the camera angles are and all the shots and how to pull this idea off. But when he had asked me that, I'm like, I'm gonna have to read it again. And I read it and I told him, I'm like, I'll do this, but I have to change the ending to your script. And he goes, oh, what? Not like a, what are you doing? He was just like he was just kind of confused. I'm like, well, if I'm doing this, I have no idea how this is going to be done. Like, I don't have those talents. I can't even see a version of this that I would be able to do. And he's like, "Oh, well, that's fine." And I gave him an idea, and I told him how I would end it, and it didn't like change like it's not like I completely reversed his plot or anything. I just simply like the last thing that I don't even remember what it was, but I'm just like, I can't physically do this on a no budget, no reading, no textbooks, no learning. I'm just like, I have to do it this way. He's like, all right, that's fine, but I'm like, but if I direct this though, I just want you to know that if I do something, it's because this is how I read your script. And not that I'm going to be mad if he's like, oh, that's not how I saw it. I just wanted to let him know that this is how the process is going to work. And he's like, all right, that's fine. And there was about halfway through the filming, because he ended up playing the lead character that I thought I was playing. And there was a way how I interpreted one of the lines or something. He's like, "Oh, I didn't think," and I just like, "Austin, remember what we said?" He's like, "Yep." He's like, "Yep, yep, I understand." I'm like, it's not me not being, not being difficult, but it's just me being like, you asked me to direct this, and this is how I perceive your script." And it came out, very, we liked it and thought it's pretty fun and stuff, and it all worked. But it was definitely a new experience to just kind of sit there and see one person's vision of something and how somebody else could see a different version of it through however they read it and perceive it and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, I think that, like, getting into I only know about it for comics, but getting into any sort of like creative union with somebody
Mhm.
is something that a lot of people aren't truly prepared for.
True. Yeah.
Like somebody writes something the way they see it in their head, and they get real defensive a lot of times if that thing is portrayed any differently, when
Yeah.
it's impossible unless you are the one drawing it and writing it. It's not going to turn out the way that you are thinking of it in your head, just because I read a paragraph differently than Fife writes a paragraph, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's like, so it's similar to what you were just saying.
Yeah.
It's just part of it, and some people understand and some people don't, and sometimes it can be really hard. Like there's been times where I'll get a script from Fife, and he'll I'll draw the stuff and I'll send it to him, and he'll be like, "Ooh, can you actually change this and this?" And it's just like, "Yeah, sure." And then there's other times where it's like, "I don't really think it works if I change that," you know? And it's
Yeah.
like, just like this one part of the story for issue 1 that we cut out, I told him, and at first, I'm sure he was probably like a little pissed about it because it was kind of last minute. Because when I first started drawing the story, the script wasn't completely done yet. I think I had like 10 pages of it, and I started going, and he still had to finish writing it. So it's like, did what I just tell him needs to change? Does that affect the pages before that that have already been drawn? Or, it's like, it's a dance that you have to learn how to do. And some people take to it a little bit more naturally than other people. And that's, like, I'm worried if we ever get to the point where we're like branching out and working with other creators, and just like, I'm so used to the way that Fife writes a script. Am I gonna get like some Michael Moore? Some I hope I don't get a Michael Moore, but am I gonna get some like Alan Moore type guy who's gonna hand me like 170 pages of script for 24 pages of comic
Yeah.
and be super like adamant that no, this is how it's going to be? And I'm just like, it doesn't. I don't work that way, man. Hey, man.
Hey man, I don't work that way, man. Yeah,
But
Michael Moore. Michael Moore is a great comic book creator.
man, I have it in my mind because I just watched his documentary Sicko the other night. So that's like, oh, that's where that came from. But yeah, Michael Moore.
Oh yeah, Michael Moore.
Yeah, man.
Hey Moore.
That's ours. No, you see, Art says, "Hey, man," and we say, "Hey, Moore."
Hey Moore.
It's totally different. It's like Vanilla Ice with Queen.
I don't understand that reference.
Oh, the Ice Ice Baby bass line was taken from a Queen song.
No.
And there's a famous clip of him saying, "Theirs goes ding, 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 ding. Mine goes ding, 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 ding." So it's totally different.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, super happy fun times.
Hey, guess what I did while you were talking there and listening, but guess what I decided to do?
What?
Went back to my sheets drawing and added more stuff. After I just got done saying like, I'm done, I'm not doing anything more. But I looked at it on my phone and where I always post the stuff from my phone. So I looked at it from that and then I'm like, oh, I gotta add a bunch of white to the sheets and now I'm adding some cool stuff and coming up with just doing some improv design. So I'm not doing anything majorly different, but I think it's all for the better of the drawing.
Yeah. And that, like, leading into that a little bit, and this isn't calling you out on it, but that is one thing that a lot of people, like including myself, struggle with, is like knowing, when is this done?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you look at a piece long enough and you can see all kinds of stuff you could add to it. And it comes down to like the time. So I don't want you to feel like I'm attacking you, like, bro, it's done, just put it down.
Well, I'm
But
not even wouldn't have even perceived it like that. So you're good.
cool. I'm not out to offend anybody except for Fife and Troy, and neither of them are here right now.
Yeah.
My
Or-
name's Troy.
or in-
Sorry, go ahead.
Or in true Rogers fashion. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. Ah, this is
Hey,
turn.
more.
This is one of those pieces that you practice that you're like, when you're zoomed in like this much, you're like, man, I'm getting a lot done.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Whoops.
I'm gonna be here for a while. Oops. Super good.
Now I looked at it just being like, oh, the eye hole in one of the sheets should be a little bigger than because it's not really matching. So this is the last thing I'm doing, and then I'm saying it's done.
I'm gonna hold you to it.
Good. Because I'm at that point where I'm like, well, I can just copy and paste the other eye, and then it's literally perfect. But sometimes when you do that, it'll just get a little fuzzy around the corner, and then I have to like redraw it. Okay, this time it worked. Because
Nice.
I think if you resize, or at least whatever settings I'm working on, resizing it um sometimes will distort it and then it just looks weird. But no, I think it's good.
Good job. Great
And
job.
I'm looking at the eyebrows and the mouth, but nope, I'm going to save. I'm not going to redo that either. So I am going to share JPEG, and I'm going to put the final image up in post right here. So yeah, you're not seeing it right now, Rogers, but everybody at home is seeing the final edition.
I think it looks wonderful.
Thank you, sir. Hey, more.
Hey, more.
So dumb.
Namor.
Namor. No more. No more. Doubles.
There was one point in time when me and Fife were stupid and young, that because we're still stupid, but we were like, man, we should like save up our money and buy the rights to a character that nobody ever uses anymore. And the one we thought of was Namor.
Jeez.
I mean, this was like 2001, 2000, like nobody did use him back then.
Yeah, yeah.
Just think of how rich we would be now.
You
He's
two.
just Marvel's Aquaman, even though he was invented way earlier.
I was gonna say, yeah, is an Aquaman DC's Namor, Submariner.
Submariner.
Let's just cover all of our bases so everybody's happy when they listen.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, man.
Namor.
Mm-mm.
Uh,
Yeah, because Rob Liefeld on his show has an entire episode about Namor. He's like,
Okay.
even if you watch the Jason Momoa Aquaman movie, that's Namor. Namor was shown like all grizzled and long haired, like way before Aquaman ever was.
yeah, Aquaman was always the skin tight, orange and
Yeah, with this perfect blonde coif of hair. Coif. Coif, I guess it's pronounced, not coif. I'm American, not French. Get out of here with your French words. Your
Yeah.
freak words.
I'm looking at the changes I made in the Sheets one now that I'm looking at my phone, and I am very satisfied. The drawing is 100% done. I am never going to touch that drawing again.
Now delete the file so that you never will. Oh wait, I forgot to share it.
Oh,
No.
This is a big thing. I'm adding it to my iPhone album that is titled My Art, which this can't be right, but I got 216 things in there.
Jeez. You're more
I mean,
prolific than me.
I mean, you showed off like 25 comic strips that you're working on, and 1,500 colored pieces that you've done, and then you created a whole frog army of knights or whatever it was, and you created Michael Moorman.
More man.
Moorman.
Doing this Catwoman thing over here.
Now, I didn't look at the details of it. Is this from like a wedding type of thing, or what are we looking at?
I'm not sure. It's just a big bat symbol, and it
If you
has
zoom,
like
if you zoom in on her dress, I kind of want to see because Joelle Jones created the dress. Yeah, I think that's her. Yeah, that's definitely the wedding dress from the Tom King run with the.
oh, okay, so that's Bruce and not the Joker.
Yes.
I thought it was Joker. I'm scared now. I mean, it makes a lot more sense that it would be Bruce Wayne because Catwoman's there, and I know that they have children together. But yeah, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, that's because here's what the original looked like. It was just this pencils. So I thought that it was Joker because there's that famous Alex Ross painting of the Joker wearing the tuxedo. So I thought it was a take on that, but
And I wasn't sure if you were kidding or not, so I didn't know how to respond to any of that. But no, that's
yeah, I was. Can you tell that I don't read comics?
but yeah, Joelle Jones designed the wedding dress for the issue, and which was so that was all good stuff.
Nice.
They did a PVC I don't know if it was a PVC. It might have been a higher end statue, but it was one of those things where I debated about buying it. It might have been one of those like $150 or $200 statues of her in the wedding dress, the Joelle Jones design and everything. And I debated about getting it in the moment to get a pre-order price and get it right when it came out, and then I didn't. And then once it came out and I started seeing it, I'm like, oh, I wish I got that, and then I couldn't find a good price for it anymore.
Statues are a hard go for me because it's just like, what am I gonna do with this thing?
Yeah, I don't have many. If anything, I buy the PVC ones just because they're in that $50 to $60 range, and they look like they're expensive, and you pick it up and just realize it's as
Right.
light as a Ninja Turtles, as light as a Ninja Turtles shampoo bottle. And but yeah, I'm trying to think if I have. Oh, I have a Jenny Frison Wonder Woman statue that's super awesome. I'll probably save that. We'll probably do a Wonder Woman episode sometime. So I can't give away all the stuff on this 12-hour
Yeah.
marathon episode we're doing. So
We'll never need to do another show again. You'll just be editing this one until you're dead.
yeah, you might not be wrong on that one. But I did set out some Uncrustables because I'm just like, well, by the time we do wrap this up, I think those will be ready to eat. So
And they went bad hours ago.
no, I did it when I turned off my video when you were talking about something important that I don't remember right now, but I was listening because I didn't have to go too far.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
My goodness. Man, I'm getting a little bit nervous. They haven't put the Oh Yeah guys on the Cincinnati Comic Expo website.
No.
And the thing that's real weird is, I guess Gem City always invites Scoot, and they didn't invite him this year, so he didn't go. Like, because when you're at the point where those guys are, you don't pay for a table, you get tables.
Yeah.
And yeah, like they didn't invite him, so he just didn't go to Gem City. Or he isn't going. I guess Gem City hasn't happened yet, or it did. I don't remember. We were gonna go, and then we found out that nobody was really gonna be there, so we're skipping it.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
like we were going to apply for a table because we got turned down for Columbus Crossroads, which I think Jeff Smith runs or helps run. And we got turned down for that table, which is fine. That show is like, it would have been back-to-back weekends, Cincinnati Comic Expo and that one, if we had gotten approved. And that would have been a nightmare. Because I would imagine that we will be sick the week after Cincinnati Comic Expo.
Yeah, to go back to back like that.
Woo.
What felt really cool is that I mean, not cool. We were behind the scenes talking about setting up something at a comic shop. We'll just keep some details light, even though it'll happen. But like for us to like all meet in person, I've met Matt Fife through a brief C2E2. But there is we are planning to hopefully meet at a store signing for some Happy Astronaut, and you guys threw out the date, and I was just like, oh man, and like I'm tabling with David Gloyd over at MightyCon in Milwaukee. And it was one of those things like for me to say that is something I never thought I would say. Where like I have an art show that day, I can't go to this thing. And while I don't want to hold you guys back, but it would be pretty awesome to get everybody together and stuff. But might be one of those to wait till like an issue 2 possibly, and maybe we still got to discuss that. But just that idea of just like kind of got crazy to being like, oh, I have something
Right.
related to the same. It's not like oh, I have a concert that day or something, but it's just like, oh, I've got to try to sell some art that day at a different place.
But I need to go return some videotapes. I can't do that stuff.
That cuts into my one episode of Gilmore Girls I'm rewatching every day for the next couple of years.
Nope, that's Gilmore Girls night. Sorry.
You guys should have known.
Yeah, I wrote it on the calendar.
I started this 2 years ago. I've only seen this episode 15 times, so
Just
I need to
imagine.
see it again.
Anthony, there's this once in a lifetime opportunity, and it's this Friday. You know the rules. You know I'm busy that day.
Friday's my night, not your night.
Yeah, come on now. Anthony, we need you to go into work early you need to go into work Friday because we're getting a late milk shipment. Nope. Nope.
I gotta see what Rory and Lorelai are up to in Stars Hollow this week.
I've already seen it before, but it's still.
Several times, but I'm not missing a week.
I find myself talking along with every episode. Don't judge me. Who the hell and who do you think you are?
You knew this about me. Hey, Moore, you knew this. Gilmore. Gilmore.
Man, it works with everything.
Gilmore.
Gilmore.
Hey,
Hey, Art,
girl.
who are your favorite girls? Gilmore.
Gossip. Golden. Gilmore, Gossip, and Golden. Is there a theme there with all G's?
Yes. And the theme is they're all G's.
They're all a bunch of G's.
Oh G's.
Oh, G's. Yeah.
Oh G's. Oh G's.
Ah, just do it.
Do it.
What am I going to call whatever this episode is? I thought at one point it was going to be ghost stories because we may actually have those ghost appearances, but it might end up being that Siri thing that was happening to Fife. But there's a legit moment that each time I thought it was just kids going, and that I can't see in your background or something. And then there was a moment where all of us were like, what was that? But I think it ended up being the Siri thing. But so I thought it was going to be like ghost stories, maybe Hey More. Although, the first dynamic duo called Hey Mr. Wilson, so it might have a theme going.
You can
Hey
say
More Wilson.
Hey, Mrs. Gilmore. Hey, Mrs. Gilmore. Oh, I need to export a PDF for Matt Fife real quick. Open recent happy astronaut number 1. Issues. Boop. Happy astronaut number 1. That's not it at all. Crap, where's it saved? It's in my Keen Spot folder.
Do I have to blur any of this stuff out?
No, you're good. You're
Okay.
good. Is it? Maybe it's under. There we go. Keen Spot number
So-
1.
So basically, outside of the thing that we purposely took a trailer break for, and you showed us some stuff, and then the possibility of seeing that stuff in one of the other shots. Other than
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, anytime that final page is shown, which is just the one time I was showing it off to you guys, we made a big deal about it, and then the other one was when I was flipping through the virtual comic
Yeah.
book. I mean, it's on the screen right now, but it's so tiny, I don't think anybody's gonna see it.
now that you call it out and everything, so
Now they're being able to pause and look. Number 1, excuse me, PDF, all pages. Boop. Yes.
well,
RGB will do 1000 pixels high. Doodly 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 doo. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. There we go. All right, that's going. We could probably go ahead and cut this because it seems like we're scraping the sides of the barrel to get some stuff going.
yeah, on the sides of the Jamie Farr barrel where his mom, kept his comics,
Oh,
the barrel of
Definitely.
comics.
barrel. Is what I can do. Oh, I can't do anything with this screen. Don't look over here. I can do this. Oh, there we go. Now I'm blocking the important stuff.
This is gonna be a nightmare.
You're gonna have a really rough go. You're gonna have to call off a couple of days.
I'm just glad that we have a Ninja Turtles episode that will have dropped. We'll have a Happy Astronaut episode that probably will drop. So this might not even see air until end of June, but we'll see. But I think I definitely will break it up into 2 episodes because looking at 4 hours and 27 minutes on recording, 5
Oh.
minutes of that is probably not usable, and but that means 4 hours and 20 minutes is usable. So 420 minutes.
What?
All right. Well, as I'm looking off into the distance, I see that the sun is starting to come up. So I think it's time to get back to our day jobs.